We'll discuss it when we get to the study hall today.
This is where it has started for 35 years, a bus ride from school to the study hall. It's a ride to a safe place with friends and caring teachers. It is a ride to hope. And routine is part of its success. The scholars arrive and head to the dining hall where they enjoy an afternoon snack, unwind, and talk with their friends. Their smiles tell the story. Then the afternoon takes off with a range of activities. For some, it might be a computer class. While learning how to operate a laptop, the computer programs are individually geared to also help the scholars with math and English. Others will attend enrichment classes. These scholars are designing graphics to be embroidered on t-shirts, shoulder bags, and towels.
5, 6, 7, and boogie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Another group is learning a new dance routine that they will perform in a few weeks.
Good. Give yourselves a hand. All right.
Oh, God.
And there is always time on the playground. While it may just look like fun, activities are designed to encourage team building, social skills, and physical fitness. There is a sensory playground with special outdoor activities to help scholars dealing with emotional challenges. Having a safe and supervised time to play is vital.
I'm gonna get one more.
And often there are special field trips. For example, today Mr. Jeremiah leads a hand-on presentation of reptiles, arachnids, and amphibians. The goal is to separate the myths and fears from the truth. For many, they have never seen anything like this, and they love it.
One of the things I've learned later in life is how much we're influenced by our environment and exposures, and especially children, which is what I love about this reptile experience that shows learning can be fun and also the value of being curious. At our 20th anniversary gala, we had Kenan Thompson, who was our keynote speaker. And before he started, he pointed out his mother and her friends, and he said, if it wasn't for my mom and her friends all chipping in and taking me to acting class, who knows what would become of me? Fast forward 5 years later, we're with Hank and Billy Aaron recording their comments because they were going to be out of town for the 25th. And Hank and I were talking as he was getting set up, and Hank said, if it wasn't for one teacher who I walked by our home every day on the way home from school, who knows what would have become of me? And I was like, wow, that's the same thing Kenan Thompson said 5 years ago. Everybody needs help, and that's what we try to do here at the study hall.
At the end of each day, each scholar enjoys a 4-course dinner before they go home.
I think dinner is important for us to feed our scholars here at Study Hall each evening before they leave, because they might not know when they're going to get their next meal. They might have a meal that night when they get home that evening with their parents, or they might not get another meal until they get to school the next morning for breakfast. They get a meat, a starch, a grain, and a fruit, a milk, and a juice. And then, of course, they have the option of water as well.
Dinner is served family style, where the teachers join at the table. It's a time for learning proper etiquette, how to talk with others, and how to listen. And every day, the most important activity is helping the scholars with homework completion and accuracy. They have grade-appropriate support for at least an hour, sometimes longer. This is where lifelong lessons are learned.
And oftentimes that hour to an hour and a half that's spent with them every single day makes the difference in them being able to do the homework and not. If you ask them the questions verbally, they can tell you the answer. But when it comes down to them reading and articulating and understanding what's being asked of them, oftentimes that's where there's a divide. And so being able to help them with their reading and their math to be able to understand what the equation or the question is asking them, oftentimes is what they need.
Does it work? Does it make a difference for these kids back in the classroom at school? The statistics are clear. When the scholars leave the program after the 5th grade, 70% of the graduates are at or above Georgia standards for the 6th grade. But to really understand the program, Please meet this young scholar, Talia Middlebrook.
The study hall is a good after-school program, and it also has good activities, good food, and also good teachers. They help us with our homework. They make sure that we're safe, and they protect us no matter what. I love study hall.
That was 10 years ago. Talia was 8. Today, Talia is a sophomore at Kennesaw State University. She is majoring in exercise science and with a goal of being a pediatric occupational therapist. She graduated high school a year early and scored in the top 15% of her class. She's driven, successful, but it didn't happen for her without some anxiety.
It was kind of like a voice in the back of my head saying, did you do enough that past year? Or am I doing enough now even when it came to homework? Or do I understand the concepts that I'm learning to 100% of my capability? And if I didn't, I knew I had a teacher at the study hall who could help me with that.
The teachers that were hired through Ms. Jaquetta, I think, were very prepared for whatever she brought in with that, from the math to the English, science, social studies. I never had to worry about coming in and she needing that extra help because it was already done.
Talia is one of many whose lives have been enriched by the study hall. Today, 180 scholars are served at 2 different campuses, and it couldn't and wouldn't have happened without the generosity of friends and donors like you who believe in the program.
Hey, Winter.
Without them, there would be no study hall, because we raise every penny to do what we do with our scholars. And there have been 3,000 plus children that we've served over these 3 decades. And so without their support, we wouldn't be able to do it. And so we're grateful to every sector, whether it's individual, corporate, government, all of the sectors that have made this opportunity possible. It couldn't have been done without that. And I realize that thank you sometimes isn't quite enough, or it doesn't seem quite enough, but from my heart to theirs, I say thank you.
The Study Hall, changing minds, changing lives.